The boy is obviously a gifted lunch break genius. But it cost 1 billion. Marry a broken loser as your wife. The family elders are all trying to persuade him to break off the engagement, then marry the goddess of desolation. But he still refused to break off the engagement. He even gave countless lind and holy medicines as betrothal gifts. All this happened because Zhang Zuan discovered the fiancé was originally the pride of the small village. But one day after the Danshan was damaged, suffering all the contempt and ridicule from the world. But he has a mysterious ring. Anyone who has read the novel knows that this is a perfect template for the protagonist, right? Taoist priest, don't talk about a desolate goddess. Even if the desolate god sect behind the goddess comes, I'll have to be wiped out. So Zhang Zuan suddenly looked at his ancestors and said, now that the engagement has been made, then I, Zhang Zuan, am not a person who always gives up. Even if Nangong Minjiwi's cultivation is completely ruined, he is still my fiancé. I hope I can tell Zune. Zhang Zuan couldn't obey his orders and refused to break off the engagement. Ancestor Wenyan thought he heard it wrong. This is a loser. Even if he has a peerless appearance, it's not worthy of you either. Zhang Zuan is crazy. And after breaking off the engagement, you can marry the goddess of the wild sky. In the future, the family will not only gain supreme power, master the longevity family, and dominate all living beings. Even the resources of the two major forces can be poured into him. How can Zhang Zuan act emotionally on the road of practice? The ancestors Shupao waved and roared, looking at Zhang Zuan solemnly, but calmly shook his head to apologize for a unique D and rejected the divorce. Obtain the blessing of luck from the protagonist of destiny. Become a lucky, favored by ancestors. Increased blood purity. Will reach 9% within 10 days. Become the most powerful Zhang family bloodline. Zhang Zuan was slightly startled as he finally activated the golden finger. Obedience and rebellion. How can one who practices cultivation defy heaven and accept the case and set it up in a humble way? Every time you break the setting, you will get the reward. Looking at the system prompt, Zhang Zuan is thoughtful. No wonder the past 18 years have been full of disasters. The reward fell into Zhang Zuan's body, and the blood roared. Zuanji looked at his ancestors. Just say this, don't mention this matter again. He, Nangong Minju, is immortal. I will protect her forever. Then Zhuqiling was issued. Grandpa, I occasionally have some insights, so please defend yourself. Leaving Zhang Zuan's cave, the ancestors returned to the ancestral hall of their lineage. Many elders are here. See the ancestors return and inquire about the catalog. The ancestor wanted to speak, but couldn't stop and shook his head. Zuer doesn't want to break off the engagement. The expressions of the elders are the same as those of the goddess Lianing. That girl from the Nangong family has already become a useless person. Nothing can compare with the mystery of the wild sky god sect. The great elder's face turned slightly dusty. I'm in trouble. Zhang Zuanruo really rejected Lin Yin. My lineage will definitely offend the wild sky god sect. This can't withstand the anger of the wild sky god sect. Suddenly, the entire Zhang family was in turmoil. Tens of millions of people, everyone wanted to go to the cave where Zhang Zuan was. Cast a puzzled look. The other side, Zhang Minga, one of the 4 elders of the Zhang family, received the news. Looking at Zhang Zuan's lineage, full of doubts. Could this Zhang Zuan be the wind? You must know that the wild sky god sect is not weaker than him at all. The ancient general of Changsheng Jiang's family, occupying one side of China, in charge of hundreds of millions of modified life and death. This generation of desolate goddess, he also awakened the Zuanian holy body, which is rare in 10,000 years. The talent is so high that it is close to the first god master of the desolate god sect, even at the expense of self-deprecation. Take the initiative to propose to the Zhang family. But Zhang Zuan refused without hesitation. At this moment, Zhang Minga seems to have thought of something. Xiao Zulao said, troubled the ancestors to send a signal to the desolation cult. I, Zhang Minga, have been friends with the god and goddess of desolation for a long time. If I have the chance, I would like to sit down and talk with the goddess of the wild sky. When the ancestor heard this, his eyes lit up. The Tenjin sect was rejected by Zhang Zuan's lineage. Face dull. If spread, may be ridiculed by countless forces in Zuanshan realm. But if you go down the slope, Zhang Minga and Zhang Zuan are the 4 elders of the Zhang family, regardless of the background of talent and strength. Not bad at all compared to Zhang Zuandu. At the same time, Zhang Zuan's motivation The surging blood power shakes the world. The power of countless mysterious rules slowly poured into Zhang Zuan's body. Although he has always had the upper hand among the four elders of the Zhang family, but it is said that Zhang Minga has had a lot of opportunities recently. Cultivation seems to have overtaken him. Zhang Zuan is still confident after her bloodline is improved, can defeat it easily. Blood concentration continues to increase. Increased to 80% after 3 days. Bloodline metamorphosis will inherit the 7 stars of the ancestors of the stars to keep the number. Look at the prompt. Zhang Zuan couldn't help but sigh that golden finger is such a good thing. But then he thought of retiring. There is a trace of distress in the eyes. The fiancé in a remote town. Obviously the heroine of destiny. What if the engagement is broken off? He, Zhang Zuan, becomes the villain's little boss in minutes. No, sit. I have to make a fuss about my fiancé. So touched Zuanji. Zhang Zuan took out the rice paper. Write down some words of concern. And solemnly promise to fully respect each other. If the other party has no intention of rescinding the engagement, he will never give up. Coming, a strong man from the Zhang family from the earth-profound mirror walked in. Kneel down and salute. I have seen Zhang Zuan Shaozhen. Zhang Zuan sealed the envelope with his own hands. Take out a storage ring at the same time. It contains most of his storage in recent years. Together with each other. Zhang Zuan asked with a serious expression to guide the crane. Hand over this letter to Nangang Minju as soon as possible. Must not delay. The strong Zhang family nodded solemnly. Turn around and leave the cave, replacing the crane that is also wrong Daojing. Take the crane to Rush 2. The Nangang family in the border area of eastern China. Tribe Ding broke the setting again. Gift Destiny protagonist created. Growing up in the future, Nangang Minju improves her perception every time. You will get even doubled. Zhang Zuan's eyes lit up. If the other party improves himself, he will receive corresponding promotions. You must know that the other party is the heroine of destiny. Am I running out of things? Zhang Zuan thought about it and suddenly regretted it. At the same time, the western Shenzhou of Zuanshan realm. A vast fairy mountain lies across the clouds. The Zhaozhang family bullies people too much. The Lord of Desolate Sky at the top of the Immortal Mountain, on the high seat of the Desolate Sky Temple. When he learned that Zhang Zuan refused to join the camp, he became furious. He shouted in a cold voice that they would all go to Jiang's house tomorrow. Ask the Zhang family general Zuan Zhaoer. In what way is my girlfriend, the god of desolation, unworthy of him? All the powerful people from all over the divine sect. Heart Heritage Road Mingzun. That's a killer. There was once a first-rate force that did not respect the wild sky god sect. Lu Mingzhen came out of seclusion and killed tens of thousands of his disciples. The ancestors of the 3 great Taoists all died. God mainly Luming Tianzun dispatched. Looks really angry. Unexpectedly, Zhang Jinai would dare to reject Lianying. Everyone is indignant Tian Yin. It is normal for people in practice to be ruthless and ungrateful. Giving up the heavenly creation for a useless person. Unless Zhang Zuan of the Zhang family is a fool. It's obvious that he doesn't like the goddess he taught. Wait a minute, this is the goddess of desolation who has been standing quietly on one side. Luo Xinglan quickly walked out to dissuade her. Compassion is the love between you and me. Since Zhang Zuan doesn't want to give up, how can it be difficult for others? So since Zhang Zuan is so contemptuous of others, why is the goddess still talking to him when she is clearly not a good match? God Lord Huanshan looked at Luo Xinglan with confusion. Luo Xinglan felt a little helpless. How could he not know that this matter had harmed the reputation of the Wild Sky sect? But Zhang Zuan must not be arrogant and ask questions. In fact, Luo Xinglan is a reincarnated person. In his previous life, he was suspenseful in the supreme posture of the Eucharist. Once led the Desolate God sect to win the championship. Zuanshan realm can be 100 years later. The Desolate God sect suffered a catastrophe, strong enemy. The huge Desolate God sect was overthrown with one move. Even if he died on the spot. In order to prevent this from happening in this life, he's been looking for a way to crack it. But he was reincarnated and his soul was damaged. Memory forced to seal. I only remember sporadic major events that happened in later generations. Among them, the one who impressed me the most was Zhang Jia Zhang Zhu. If we say he is invincible for the rest of his life. Na Kang Hyan. He is the most powerful man who can suppress the entire Zuanshan with one hand, even when he is not broken through the true God. Zhang Zuan has broken the order of Zuanshan realm. Since ancient times, I have been destined to ascend to the higher and higher avenues. So he wants to seek Zhang Zun's assistance. Help the desolate god sect survive the future catastrophe. Immediately, Luo Xinglan looked at Huangshan god and worshipped respectfully. You are Xinglan to capricious. I insist on ripples without knowing the other party's mind. Let me teach Mengxiu Xinglan's fault. Hope God will punish. Lord Huangshan sighed leisurely, since you said so. Do it over there. Don't mention it again in the past. What did the black-robed elder think of? Give it up again before reporting to the Lord of God. When Elder Wei of the Zhang family delivered this news. Also Yanming Zhangminga, one of the 4 deities of his lineage, have been friends with gods and goddesses for a long time. I want to find an opportunity to sit down and talk with the goddess. I don't know that everyone's expressions changed when they heard this. They are not fools. Is Zhangminga intending to marry the goddess? If that's the case, it's not impossible. After all, Zhang Minga's talent is not weaker than Zhang Zhu. Lord Huangshan. At this time, he also turned his attention to Luo Xinglan. Luo Xinglan frowned slightly. Who is Zhang Minga? Never heard of it. He has no memory of Zhang Minga's past life at all. It can be seen that this is just an ordinary arrogance. I still want to discuss with him. Luo Xinglan's face suddenly turned cold. He also deserves to spit out a sentence. As soon as the statement came out, everyone was stunned. If Zhang Minga is not worthy, then why do you insist on marrying Zhang Zuan? There is no difference between them. Exit the hall. Luo Xinglan was stunned when she was sitting in her mind. Since the way of marriage has been declared a failure, then how should I take the initiative to make friends with Zhang Zuan and follow him? Ruoxing Blue Crocodile snorted fiercely. Zhang Zuan really values love and justice so much. A person with forbidden meridians actually never abandons him. Wait for Nangong Minju. Luo Xing's blue eyes were filled with deep doubts. Why does this name give him a very familiar feeling? Could it be that this Nangong Minju? Were you also a strong man in your previous life? A cripple with nearly severed meridians? No way, at the same time. The Nangong family in the border area of eastern China. Ever since Nangong Minju fell from the altar. A month ago, the strong men from Yushan Mansion just came to check Minjui's injuries. Seeing that he still hasn't recovered. Leave with cold face and sleeves. He also took away his disciples from the Yushan Mansion. At that time the whole family was guessing. Changsheng Jiang's family may soon come to divorce. After all, Zhang Zuan is the most outstanding genius of the Changsheng family. How can you tolerate your own reasoning? Is a disabled person who can no longer cultivate. After hearing this, Nangong Minju calmly walked to the strong man of the Zhang family. Little girl Nangong Minju. She has already been mentally prepared for the Zhang family's divorce. She herself feels this. Marriage forced by parents has a bottom line. After all, she doesn't even know what the other person looks like. It's good to be back now. Although this is somewhat humiliating. The strong man from the Zhang family took a deep look at Nangong Minju. Although I had doubts in my heart, I didn't say anything more. Directly handed the letter and storage ring to the other party. He also heard about Zhang Zhu and Shaozhen's refusal to withdraw the engagement. But this is not the upper level of the world. Until he talks too much. Received the letter and storage ring. Nangong Minjui's expression remained calm as usual. I didn't even bother to open the letter. You don't need to be angry, but you rebuild your supreme physique. Rise is only a matter of time. The bright moon fairy in the ring conveys the message. Although the Zhang family is a long-established longevity family. But if your skills are great, it's not that there is no chance to overpower Zhang Jiabao's support today. After a year of getting along, he really likes his successor. He was extremely unhappy when his heir's engagement was annulled today. But at the moment, the eyes of those young disciples at this time had no trace of their presence. Maybe some sympathy, but more greed. Their gaze. They all gathered on the storage ring in Nangong Minjui's hand. This is obviously the Zhang family's compensation for breaking off the engagement. There must be many precious cultivation resources. Nangong, the crab disciple, walks out easily. Sees the letter and storage ring. Looking towards the dream in the Nangong Minju. You are a piece of trash now. These cultivation resources are for you to waste at the beginning. Better to contribute to the family. Nangong Minjui's face was extremely cold. It's not your turn to point me at things. Nangong Kingfeng tightened the letter in his hand. Sister Tang showed a sneer. Why don't you read young Master Zhang Zuan's letter? Is it because you have no courage? Are you angry about the fact that you were divorced? In that case, let the cousin do it for you. When the letter was torn open, the aura of heaven and earth gushed out. Zhang Zuan's concerned voice slowly rang out. The engagement has been decided. You are my wife, Zhang Zuan, and you will be my guardian daughter. When I grow up, I will reshape your steps and practice for you. The audience suddenly fell silent. Isn't it annulling the engagement? Unable to understand, Nangong Kingfeng suddenly collapsed on the ground. The Zhang family did not break off the engagement. Nangong Minju is also the fiancé of Zhang family General Zuan Shaozhen. Then what he just did was looking for death. Fairy Bright Moon was also silent for a while. There are still people in the cunning and deceitful spiritual world who have this heavy responsibility. Nuo then urged Nangong Mingyuedeo. See what training resources are in the storage ring. If there are 1 or 2 big medicines, I am sure that you will return to the soul realm within 3 months. Nangong Minju nodded. The temple cannot be swept away. The Lord of the Ring is suddenly stunned. Tai Bai Kinglian has the effect of clearing the mind and calming the mind to assist in cultivation. Li Huo Tiangkao. Fire Dao Wang Yao contains a lot of Fire Dao rules. A warm current surged in Nangong Minjui's heart. The year he fell from the altar. It can be said that he has suffered countless wide eyes and insults. Unexpectedly, this fiancé whom he had never met. Not only do not dislike him, he has become a useless person, and so helpful. Fairy Bright Moon also sensed the storage. The royal aura in the ring. Immediately shocked. There are dozens of king medicines. Is there really such a person who values love and righteousness in the practice world? This time Nangong Minjui's cultivation was restored. He has absolute confidence. The strong man from the Zhang family felt inspired after hearing what young master said. Zuanji releases the pressure of his own earthly mysterious realm to overwhelm all directions. Ling congratulated Dao Nangong Minju for being my general's family General Zuan. Shaozhen's fiancé. If someone is too daring, it is disrespectful to the young master. Those who disrespect will be killed. The divine eagle exploded like thunder from the sky and resounded throughout Henji City. Inside and outside the dojo, countless people's bodies could not stop shaking. Unexpectedly, young Master Zhang Zuan was actually willing to marry Nan Gong Minju, this loser, and at the same time, in a mansion. Hearing the warning sound of Zhang family strong men resounding throughout the city, the face of the master of Yushin Mansion suddenly changed. The Zhang family did not break off the engagement. This is troublesome. A month ago, they are talented people from Yushin Prefecture, withdrawn the qualifications of Nangong Minjui's disciple. If the Zhang family is informed, that Yushin Mansion will bear the endless wood weapons of the Changsheng family. Think of this. Palace Master Yushin immediately sent a voice transmission to the Great Elder thousands of miles away. Dao immediately resumed his status as a disciple of Nangong Minjui's inner sect. No mistake. Immediately after the Great Elder heard the news, he called. A jade mountain sculpture emerges, set off towards the direction of Nangong's house and leave through the air.